Your support truly means everything to us. With nearly 90% of our viewers still not subscribed, we need your help to keep crafting emotional and meaningful stories. Tap that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and drop a comment with your city. We'd love to know where you're watching from. Now let's begin. Emily and Jack appeared to have the kind of life that many could only fantasize about. Jack was the ideal husband, admired for his dedication, kindness, and unwavering devotion to his wife. Together they complemented each other flawlessly, whether it was enjoying laid-back weekend brunches or curling up for cozy movie nights. His love for Emily was unmistakable, evident in the way he still gazed at her with the same admiration and affection he had on their wedding day, even after 5 years of marriage. Jack was convinced that he knew Emily better than anyone, certain that they were meant for each other in every possible way. But over time, subtle shifts began to appear. Emily, who once eagerly shared the smallest details of her day, grew distant. Her laughter, once so frequent, became rare. Her eyes often seemed unfocused, lost in thoughts she never voiced. Even in their quiet moments together, Jack sensed an unspoken barrier between them. He reassured himself that it was just the stress of her demanding new role in marketing, a job that kept her working long hours and traveling constantly. Yet a lingering unease settled in his chest, a nagging doubt he struggled to ignore. The first undeniable sign came on a Friday night. Emily had planned a girls' evening out, and Jack encouraged her to have fun. But as the night wore on, her messages became sporadic, then stopped altogether. A deep discomfort twisted in his stomach. When she finally returned home late, a faint trace of cologne clung to her, and her disheveled appearance didn't quite match a casual night out with friends. Suspicion surged within him, but he forced it down, unwilling to be the kind of husband who doubted his wife without cause. Emily had never given him a reason to question her, until now. 2 weeks later, the second crack in their marriage appeared. While helping her with the laundry, Jack noticed her phone light up with a message from an unknown number. The words struck him like a blow. Last night was unforgettable. When can we do it again? His breath caught, his hands stilled. The weight of those words pressed down on him, suffocating. Taking a slow, steady breath, he carefully set the laundry aside. Emily, sensing a shift, quickly snatched up her phone and dismissed the message with a forced smile. "Just a joke from a client at work," she said lightly. "Nothing to worry about." Jack returned the smile, but his mind was already racing. The doubt that had been whispering in the back of his mind was now screaming. No matter how much he wanted to believe her, that single message had changed everything. From that moment on, he saw her differently. The little habits he once adored now felt like puzzle pieces to a truth he didn't want to face. He became quieter, more observant, dissecting every glance, every word, every unexplained absence. The truth hit him like a wrecking ball one rainy Saturday night. Emily had once again claimed she needed to stay late at work. Jack kissed her goodbye as usual, but as he watched her car disappear down the road, the weight of his suspicions became unbearable. On impulse, he grabbed his keys and followed her, keeping a safe distance with his headlights dimmed. His heart pounded as he trailed her across town, his worst fears tightening around his chest like a vice. Eventually, Emily pulled into the parking lot of a dimly lit bar. Jack parked a short distance away, his pulse thundering in his ears. Moments later, a tall man with dark hair and an easy smile approached her at the entrance. Emily stepped out of her car laughing as she threw her arms around him. Jack's entire world crumbled. Frozen in his seat, he watched the scene unfold like a nightmare from which he couldn't wake. The two of them entered the bar together, their laughter piercing the silence even from where he sat. For a long time, Jack remained there, motionless, the image of their embrace seared into his mind. Eventually, he turned the key in the ignition and drove home, his vision blurred with betrayal. The house felt emptier than ever as he stepped inside. A storm of emotions raged within him: anger, sorrow, disbelief, all colliding in a chaotic swirl. He poured himself a drink, then another, The burn of alcohol dulled the sharp edges of his pain just enough for his thoughts to begin taking shape. But instead of giving in to rage or an explosive confrontation, he chose a different path. He was determined to ensure that Emily felt the weight of her betrayal just as profoundly as he had. Over the next several days, Jack carefully set his plan into motion. With precision, he drained their shared bank accounts, quietly moving the funds into a private account only he could access. Slowly, he packed his belongings, taking only what he truly needed while leaving no trace of his preparations. Every step was calculated, every decision made in silence. He even arranged a transition into remote work, ensuring that when he disappeared it would be seamless. Emily wouldn't see it coming. His goal was simple: to vanish without a trace, leaving her to wake up in an empty house, forced to confront the destruction of her own making. The night before his departure, Jack booked a hotel suite under a name Emily wouldn't recognize, ensuring she wouldn't be able to track him down. He was certain she wouldn't be home that evening. She would be with him, the man she had chosen over her husband. That thought alone solidified his resolve. With Emily out of the house, Jack put the final piece of his plan into action. He left a single note on the kitchen counter. Brief, unambiguous. "I know everything." Taking one last look around the place they had once called home, he found nothing left to hold on to. The walls felt cold, the rooms hollow, stripped of any trace of the life they had shared. Without hesitation, he walked out, closing the door behind him for the last time. The emptiness he left behind was a perfect reflection of the void she had created in his heart. At the hotel, Jack poured himself a glass of whiskey and sat in silence, watching the clock. He pictured the moment she would return, the confusion, the creeping panic as realization set in. He imagined her searching desperately for him, only to be met with nothing but absence. He hoped in that moment she would feel even a fraction of the pain she had inflicted. At dawn, Emily arrived home, the lingering scent of another man's cologne still clinging to her. She called for Jack, expecting to find him asleep upstairs, but the house was eerily still. A flicker of unease crept in as she switched on the lights. Then her eyes landed on the note resting on the counter. 3 simple words sent her heart into a frantic rhythm. Panic surged through her as she rushed through the house, opening closet doors and rifling through drawers, each one emptier than the last. Even their wedding photos were gone, as though Jack had wiped away every trace of their life together. Her hands trembled as she dialed his number, but each call went straight to voicemail. Again and again she tried, her messages becoming increasingly frantic, her voice breaking with desperation. But Jack never answered. He was already gone. Physically, emotionally, completely out of her reach. In the days and weeks that followed, Emily's desperation only grew. She reached out to his friends, contacted his family, even went to his workplace, only to discover he had taken a remote position and was no longer in the area. Every ignored message, every call that went unanswered, chipped away at her, leaving her drowning in regret. Meanwhile, the excitement of her new relationship fizzled into nothing. The man she had risked everything for turned out to be a fleeting distraction, not the fantasy she had imagined. The thrill faded, replaced by a cold, suffocating loneliness. And for the first time, she truly understood what she had lost. Jack, on the other hand, embraced his fresh start in a new city. Surrounded by unfamiliar faces, he rebuilt his life one step at a time. Slowly, he found peace, purpose, and a future untainted by the shadows of his past. Looking back, he felt no bitterness, no resentment, only a quiet sense of victory. He had given Emily exactly what she seemed to want: freedom. But in the end, she had trapped herself in regret. And Jack? He had moved on. Because sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't anger or retribution. It's simply choosing to walk away. So guys, if you all liked today's story, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you for watching.